It's on Zoom at least.
Okay. The next executive session,
There was no action taken at this point.
second is that August meeting will be on September 2nd. Day after Labor Day because of the fair. Thank you very much. Any other business comes before the committee? We're adjourned.
Community Development Committee on Tuesday, July 22nd, and we have a motion to accept. Thank you very much. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we got some tourists, so Laura, join us straight up here.
Look at the winner, sir.
Straight up. Okay. Step right up. Okay.
All right, first thing is, there's some fun stuff for you. Things in room.
Oh, nice.
So these calendars that I'm passing around are a result of a collaboration between our tourism office and the county historian and as many of the local historians as we could reel in to help give us information. So this was a long effort at trying to, pay attention to what historians, community people could identify as persons or events of interest over history. It's by no means complete, but we did try and make sure that there were all kinds of odd and interesting facts, major figures, not so major figures, And I personally am very pleased with the way that this came out. I want to thank Amy Hoffer for her hard work and Tom, the county historian. We printed enough of these that the intent is to use this as a marketing piece. We have enough that we will be giving them out at the fairs, and if you each want some for your communities, I mean, we didn't print out enough for every household to have, but you know, we have quite a few of them to go around and enjoy and maybe learn a little bit of something about each other's towns and people. So
How long did this take to compile?
we started working on this probably last fall. Just meeting with, again, every historian, the county historian, trying to identify events and people. Even, you know, the map that you see on the front of it was produced by Pamela with our GIF license. I find that map really interesting because it basically shows you what the original, what the original boundaries of Charlotte are, which was at one point was all of Washington County, and it kind of puts it into perspective of what is currently Washington County versus what Washington County looked like in 1777. So I think there's some really interesting history and information here.
Great job.
So if the budget gets too bad, we're just gonna redraw the lines. Warren County get the top half, Saratoga get Bonnie half, or just hang up the shingle.
It's an excellent idea.
We're doing one sell East in Cambridge when I call.
Great work. Being part of the county.
Yeah, I think it came out really well. And what really pleases me is Saratoga County keeps trumping us on all of our great ideas. We are the first to do this, and I don't think there's enough time for them to get one out by this year.
Are you gonna sell these at the fair?
Our original idea was, so you may all be aware that the 250th committee came to us sort of thinking that they might need $10,000 to do some 250th stuff. That was never going to happen. However, their determination was that we, the county, were gonna fund some of the projects and they would do fundraising. I will say that the 250th committee has worked hard, but the environment is just so different than it was 20 or 30 years ago when people who used to volunteer, people who used to contribute just aren't there anymore. So I had actually originally conceived this as a way for them to sell the calendars and do fundraising. The problem happened that some of the entities that would have been responsible for selling the calendar wanted a cut. So we just ended up deciding that that I didn't want to go down that road. The cost to print these for the number that we printed was within the ARPA budget that we had set aside. And it makes a very good piece of marketing, and I just decided I would rather have maximum exposure out there so that not only, you know, our people, but surrounding counties and towns could learn a little bit about what we've contributed to the history of this area.
We should be very proud of this. This is excellent. I did notice, however, though, that you missed my birthday, didn't you?
You can write, that's
I didn't either.
I
Found white
can give
space.
you a black marker. You can write it
Guys,
yourself.
nothing happened in Washington County on my birthday.
Seriously though, Laura, this is amazing. This is
Yeah, and again, Amy deserves, you know, full credit. Pamela worked on it, I worked on it, and we all, you know, we all put our 2 cents in. I'm sure there's a typo somewhere, but we've read it 53 times.
Amazing.
So again, you know, the shipment arrived yesterday. We have them here at the county. I think I have 5,000 of them. So if you want a handful for your towns. I don't want to give out too many of them before the fair because I want to make sure we have enough, but after the fair, whatever we have left, we will distribute as much as we can.
Could I take something, take down the Pembroke Museum?
Sure.
I think library would really like to have these down there just for, to let everybody know what you did do.
Mhm. Absolutely. Yeah, again, I've got a couple of boxes in.
Wait, but just so people ready to reach what.
No, you can give them away. I mean, again, the point is to give them away. And in fact, I have to say, if they're so popular that people will want them, I'll find a way to print them.
There you go.
I think they're phenomenal and well worth putting out there.
Agreed.
Good job. Very good job.
So. next thing to show you on tourism. So, I'm gonna pass just a couple of these out, just to pass around. As you all know, this is what our current visitors guide looks like. This was largely, what it really does is it directs you to the tourism website, because the problem with printed material is that it gets outdated very quickly. So the visitor's guide is fairly generic, has QR codes that send you to the website. What started happening is, as you know, we belong to the Haunted History Trail. And we are getting requests for hundreds of mailing. We're getting tired of stuffing envelopes. So we decided to take the opportunity to expand the digital to the visitor's guide to a digital version, which is what's being passed around. It would be very expensive to print, so I haven't pulled the trigger on printing it yet. But the intention is that when somebody signs up and requests a digital visitor's guide, if they give us their email address, we will email them the digital visitor's guide, which precludes us from having to put something in the mail. Plus, it gets them on our mailing list to get our newsletters, et cetera, et cetera. So again, I just, that's going to be on the website. We will have a digital version of it. If there's budget for it, and if there's room for it, we may print it later, but we decided for right now just to keep it digital, just because it's much lengthier than the short copy that we have. Next update is short-term rentals. As you know, we purchased the Deckard software. That is going a little bit slower than I would have hoped. The other thing that's happened is the state has not, to my knowledge, made any effort to disseminate information about the new rules. They're kind of putting it on the booking platforms to advise their hosts of what is and is not supposed to be done. So we've decided that we are going to hold one of our tourism, we call them the meeting of the minds, which is trying to bring businesses together on an educational event. I had hoped that the Deckard software would be up and running. We're going to try and do it early October. I'm not so confident that that is going to happen, but we will do the best that we can to make sure that for short-term rental operators, any questions that they have about how the tax collection system, how the registration system is going to work, we will have as much information together as we can. Any questions about that? So next thing on the list, I kind of hate to be repetitive, but we won another tourism award. So this one was for, again, I know.
Twist your arms.
Yeah. So I'm hopeful, confident that all of you are keeping an eye on the series of videos that we put out on the tourism website, and then we also put clips on Facebook. So we created a series called the How It's Made series, which basically follows makers of soaps, beekeepers, basically any product that's made in the county. We've created a series of videos, beer being very popular. This is how it's made. This is how our small businesses are doing it. And, this is why this is not a big industrial manufacturer. It's coming from a local small business. So that series actually won another New York State Tourism Award. The dinner will be in September to present the award. So realizing that that series was so effective and it was based on showcasing our small businesses, I decided to take that one step further and use some of the ARPA funding that we had budgeted to do videography to focus specifically on showcasing businesses and workforce. So we have sent videography teams to we're going to try and do all of the large employers, and as budget permits, try and, then work our way to some of the smaller ones. We have 2 ready, and I'm going to show them to you now. Or Debbie's going to show them to you now.
Port Hudson is located in Washington County for the last 55 years, and we are the only not-for-profit, multi-level integrated.
It's on Debbie's screen, but not on that screen.
Okay. That's I'm sharing. I think her.
I saw right in here this morning. Full screen.
No, that's me.
Just the few of us. We can- Just lip sync it. You just close your eyes and listen.
Get a picture in your mind.
Yeah.
Or while we're waiting, what are the videos of Port Hudson?
So the first two that you're gonna see, one is from Adirondack Scenic, one is from Fort Hudson. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you while Debbie's working on that, what outcome from this has been already. Starting with Adirondack Scenic. While we were there, there's a young woman there who's one of the people that we interviewed, who just, did a great job in talking about, the county and, her happiness to be here. So we actually put out a press release after that. The video has not been released yet, but there was the press release called Cultivating Local Talent. All of the local newspapers and the Post-Star picked this up. And basically what it says is it's talking about a young woman who was so happy that she found employment right near where she lives. So it just, again, what we're trying to showcase is you don't have to leave the area to go get your dream job. And that is effectively what she said. The second one, we did a film shoot at Hollingsworth and Vose. That one there's a few of them that are still in editing stage. And this one was really interesting because Hollingsworth and Vose, as you may know, is actually a New England company with a presence in Granville or Easton and Greenwich. After we did the film shoot, they did postings on LinkedIn talking about how grateful they were to Washington County and the support of their local businesses and the fact that, their employees had this opportunity to talk about the jobs that they worked in and their local careers, et cetera. So I think my point is that before these have even been released, we don't have any luck.
Let's try this.
We're already getting reaction. Here we go.
Port Hudson is located in Washington County for the last 55 years, and we are the only not-for-profit, multi-level integrated senior healthcare provider in this region. My name's Andy Cruikshank. I'm the Chief Executive Officer at Fort Hudson Health System. Having its start here in Washington County in the town of Fort Edward has proven to be an absolutely terrific location for services, for employment. And at the end of the day, this region is beautiful. It has everything that you can really need in a short distance from anything else that you might want to consider. We are neighbors to farmers and manufacturers, and I can't think of a better location to locate than Washington County.
One of the first individuals that we served here in Washington County, he was in his late 90s, and I met him and his daughter at his home, and he wanted to spend the last days of his life at his home that his father had built almost 100 years before. And we were able to keep him home for his entire life, right through to his passing. We recognized a need to help provide for community members. Some of that is transitioning people back out of nursing homes, and some of that is helping people remain as independent as possible. When I think of Washington County, I think of family. And when I think of Fort Hudson, I think of community. So being that it is kind of like a small town, we do actually have a lot of generations. I do like to think of Fort Hudson as one large family. Working at Fort Hudson and working Washington County, I find very rewarding. A lot of the folks that I am serving are folks that have been productive members of this community. Being able to pay it forward and work for this population is very rewarding.
So quality of that was a little bit off, I think, because of Zoom,
Yeah.
but yeah, it came out very well. So one more to show you. Again, we will have these posted, but I wanted to give you an idea of what we were trying to accomplish with this.
So this one.
Just take me a second, I have to go in and open everything. This is quite amazing. I mean, Hudson Headwaters has done this to put it out there, to let people know that it's a great place to live and come and work in your own neighborhood. And you're basically doing this beautiful thing too, to actually get people to move back home and have jobs. And giving them the opportunity to know that there's work in Washington County.
To quote Al, I have an evil plan.
I like it. Keep coming. It's a good plan.
So while Debbie's looking for that, I'm gonna tell you what my evil plan is. It has come up that there are some who believe that we should be doing it, well, let's put it this way, that we do not have a direct budget related to this thing called economic development. We have a budget for tourism, we have budget for planning, but there is no, other than the fact that we fund the LDC, there are no direct funds spent on this thing, whatever your definition of it is, called economic development. So what I'm going to propose to do is, as you know, we have a tourism website that has been pretty well received. I don't think we are not Albany or Saratoga. I don't think that we need to spend a lot of money creating what is commonly used in economic development by site selectors, et cetera, et cetera. But what I would like to do is create a doing business on the tourism webpage. And so part of the point of these videos is I wanted to start creating content now so that if we start enhancing the tourism website to link community and business together, we've got some content to start feeding into there. I have a proposal from Black Dog. I'm estimating that it is probably, depending on how much we have them do, gonna run between $30,000 to $50,000 to get the website set up and start delivering content and articles related to businesses that's similar to what we're already doing for tourism. To fund this, what I am hoping is that the occupancy tax revenue will be up enough to cover it. Problem is, we don't know what that's going to look like. So I don't want to make a lot of plans to spend a lot of money. I want to sort of do the basic job to get the background there. And then as we start getting a better feel for what occupancy tax revenue is, adjust that. But this is just to let you know that that is going to be a proposal in the budget that's coming for 2026. And then we can have discussions about, alternatives in terms of if there isn't enough occupancy tax revenue. There is also the possibility of using the existing occupancy tax fund balance that we have, or possibly shifting some of the remaining ARPA revenue over. But the point is that I wanted to demonstrate that even before these things are out, they're already out there and they're already getting comments. So that says that people are interested and people are looking. So with that, I'll let you see the Adirondack Studios.
From the very beginning, people were coming out of the woodwork to build, to paint. There are certainly many, many craftspeople who have come through our doors that are local based. The people who have come to us from far away are all people who want to be here in Washington County. Being where we love to be is really key to the whole thing. And we decided we all love to be in this part of the world. We were scenic builders out of New York City. We've had various backgrounds, but mostly it was in just carpentry and building shows, corporate meetings, special events. And when we moved up here, we thought that's what we would be doing. Sort of morphed into a whole lot of other stuff eventually.
Starting in upstate New York was a focus to get craftspeople and artisans who can do thoughtful, focused, creative work. And I think that the region has always brought those type of individuals, and recognizing the fact that that's where they want to live means that we can help have them be part of our community and then take their talents around the world.
My name is Jalen Cutright. I am a creative design intern here at Adirondack Studios. When I found out that Adirondack Studios was right here, like 40 minutes away from where I live, I was like, this is amazing.
One thing about Washington County and Adirondack that was rewarding for me is that it gave me the kind of things that I wanted. It allowed me to build a family, to build a life for myself, but have an incredibly rewarding professional career in a challenging environment at the pace of life that I wanted.
There's so many talented people here. I get to go down to the wood shop or the metal department and talk to them about what processes need to be taken in order for the design to actually work. It keeps it challenging for me. It keeps it exciting, and it's just a lot of fun.
There's just a lot to love about living and working in Washington County.
So there you have it. That's the first two. Again, we've got, we're doing another film shoot where they're actually out there today. We've got a few others that are in edit. The intention is these are going to be compiled in different ways. We'll probably take shots from all of the videos. Maybe do a compilation of 10 different businesses, whatever it were. Some of them will be short clips that'll run on Reels, Instagram, etc. But the point will be to basically give ourselves as much exposure as we can, but it's coming from people who live here and work here. So that's my evil plan. The other thing is that I wanted to mention, we are also looking, besides building up.
Did you do telescope, or were you able to get hold of Karen?
Kathy rescheduled. We're trying. We were supposed to be there today, yeah. Yes, they are one of them. I'm also looking at some other initiatives, again, that are really, more tied to the economic development side. Which could be things like, what else can we do with the chambers? What can we do with SUNY Adirondack? What changes are happening there? Land banks are under discussion. There's a number of different things. But the point is that I think that we've done a lot to build tourism. Tourism is business. Tourism is economic development. So I think it's time to try and take that on to the next step. And that's it. That's my story, and it's looking to it.
Anybody have any questions?
No, very fond of her EO fans and request that she gets even more EO.
I can do either.
We're traveling together Thursday, so it's bound to.
I'm excited to hear more about the land banks in the future.
Coming soon.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions for Laura? Thanks, Laura. I don't know how many people you have done that up, do just this. That's a lot of work.
We know.
Good job. Good job. So,
Should take a giant leap.
yeah. I think that's a. No,
You're awake.
it's okay. I don't know about
I'm trying to stay for that.
I have, for each, let me see here. So, the 1, 2, 3, 4 that way. This is just our, the data that I provide to you quarterly. And one more little handout there for you. So the data itself, I tweaked it a little bit this time from what I usually bring you. So what I've been bringing is what comes to me directly from the program director. And I kind of consolidated it a little bit. Just to be a more high level view. It's a lot of it's the same. I just took out some of the extra stuff and reformatted. There's really nothing in the data that is alarming, surprising, huge. We served a lot of people this quarter, 222 in adults. We've seen some really good work in the youth program. We have 29. You see the bluish gray highlighted that are all 29 in the count in youth services. That's because they are all part of the summer youth employment program. So we have 29 in the summer youth employment program. Those 29 all received financial literacy training and sexual harassment in the workplace. So that's why I highlighted that, to show that those are all the same people receiving all of those things. We've had a couple of people get GEDs recently, do college tours. One has done a couple of college tours and taken the SAT. That's a beautiful story. I have more of the story that I would be glad to share at some point, although we will be sharing that story sometime soon. And then businesses contacted in regard to youth programming. That's on the next page. So I'm also to report quarterly on our outreach efforts for workforce development. So for youth, it's literally a list of all the businesses, organizations, schools, and so forth that our youth counselor has reached out to, and that's because that is primarily for the summer youth employment program. So we're looking for partners who will take on a young person for 8 weeks. They're on our payroll, but the organization does the training and gets the benefit of the work. Some of those do turn into year-round employment. And so we have a good base of schools, libraries, businesses, so forth that we've worked with for years for this, but we do try to increase every year. I think we added 2 this year to our previous list. So these are all that we've reached out to. As far as our outreach for adults and dislocated workers, I tried to get a little more detail this time. So we have a newsletter, a quarterly newsletter that we send out. So our spring newsletter was sent out to all of our 2024 and 2025 customers, to all of the local chambers of commerce, to all of the LEAP board members, and to all of the Saratoga, Warren, Washington Workforce Development board members, and just our partners, all of the organizations we work with, collaborate with, that kind of thing. And then social media posts, I did a deeper dive into what we're doing on social media, specifically for workforce development. Because LEAP has workforce development as part of its, it's part of the organization. We also have Head Start, we have our community services, and there are only so many business days a week, so we actually have a social media strategy that kind of rotates what we put out there. But I've looked at our content for the last 3 months, specifically for workforce development posts, and there were 11 over the last 3 months, workforce development, that included the topics of our virtual workshops, summer youth employment program, the New York State Civil Service workshop that is happening, and just general did you know kind of things. There were a couple of those. Did you know that workforce development provides, and that kind of thing. Also about our GED program and Washington County Fair job fair. We promoted that as well. And then lots of different organizations or platforms that we have done some outreach to. I omitted a couple that are just kind of standard practice for us, that weren't something specific that we were looking for this quarter, and some additional notes on what our goal was in reaching out to those organizations. We also, this quarter, we focused a lot in the last couple of months on strategizing and then working from that to engage more with the businesses in Washington County, help to make sure they know who we are and that we know who they are and what they need. And so our employment counselors and our outreach specialist have been meeting together. He does outreach for the entire organization, but he's been meeting with them to create a business list. And this is a shared spreadsheet, basically. It's on a different platform, but it's a shared spreadsheet where they can each see, they have this shared list of businesses, and they can see who has reached out to that business and what the point of that outreach was, what the outcome was, what the next steps are. And they're working together to make sure that nobody's duplicating, but that each business is getting the attention needed. And, that they know that we are here to serve them, to help, the Washington County businesses find the employees they're looking for, to help with, if there are layoffs, to be able to step in and help those employees, just different things like that. We're helping to make sure they know that. And so we created this. Please don't mind the printing. This was just me printing it on the printer in the office just so I could share it with you. But we created this brochure as a leave behind for those businesses, so they know who we are, what we're about, and how we are there to help them. So that's been a big focus for us over the last quarter. It's just working on really ramping up our interaction with Washington County businesses. And the second part of that is that, again, our outreach coordinator and I sat down and kind of took a look at all of the Washington County chambers of commerce, and we are members of a couple of them. A couple we are going to join that we haven't, and we strategized which one of us is going to handle each of these, because that's a lot of chamber meetings to attend. So we're strategizing who's going to do each, and in some cases, I've been talking with our leadership team as well. We may ask, for instance, in Cambridge, the center coordinator for our Head Start Center that is in Cambridge is very engaged in the community. People know her, they know our center there. And so if she has the bandwidth and the interest, we would actually have her attend those meetings, because she's already invested in that community. And she knows the organization and the community well. So we're really trying to determine who the best person is to represent LEAP at each of those chambers, but that's what we're working on. I think that is all that I had for today. I think the last time I came to you was with the Workforce Development Board appointment, and that has been resolved. So unless you have questions for me, that's all I got. Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you. Yeah.
I like the brochure especially because it gives people something to look at, think about, think on that. The information you're sharing is very important. It gives us a better point of how LEAP is helping people. And I think we've got some good direction that we're going in.
Thank you. I think so too. And I'm excited about it. I love what we're starting to do, what we're working on, and the energy of our staff. They're excited to be doing these things. They want to, if I could just release them to do a lot of things right now, they would do it, but we have to be able to back it all up. So one step at a time, but they're very excited and engaged, and I'm really thankful for them. They're doing great work.
Joey, I would encourage you to not be afraid to engage your board members too, who don't cost you a dime to go to chamber meetings and stuff. I think you're gonna be very surprised who on your board would actually attend those meetings and report back to you as well. You have some really good board members that are engaged too, so don't be afraid to tap your board members for participation.
It's a good thought. I'm gonna add that to my next executive committee agenda. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so do we have any other business? Yeah. No.
Other than I do want to mention to Supervisor Flaherty that I did have the opportunity to visit Salem Health Center last week. So congratulations to you and your community. Very nice. Outstanding, outstanding. Your staff could not have been better.
I was gonna say the building's really nice, but I really like the people inside.
I wish I was there on a friendly visit, but I got to see the facility either way.
The people inside are as good as the building. Great. So anyways, I think we're adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks for being